And we're back here on the Golf Oklahoma Hour. Tracy, Phillips, Ken MacLeod, I'm Dave Sittler. We thank Maggie Roller for joining us. Now we're going to go down the Turnpike, talk to Marty McCauley, the women's coach at Oklahoma City University, the defending national champions. They've won it 3 times in the 7 years Marty's been their head coach. And Marty, thanks so much for joining us. And first of all, what are your thoughts? What's about 10 days away yet till you go down to Florida for the championship? Marty?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that question, but it's about 10 days until you go down to Florida for the championship?
Yes, we leave actually a week from today, and our first round will be on May 22nd.
And your thoughts as the defending champion, I'm not sure on your squad, did you lose quite a few players that won that title last year?
We lost 5 seniors last year, and 3 of them were in the top 5. So our 1, 3, and 4 players from last year are all gone. So we returned 2 that were on the all-tournament team, which is top 15. They were both All-Americans. That's Savannah Moody, she's a senior, and Melissa Eldridge, who's a sophomore. So we have 2 of our 5 from last year's team back.
So, Marty, have you decided on your starting 5 for the national championship?
Yes, we qualified this past week, and our top 5 are going to be the 2 I just mentioned, Savannah and Melissa, and then Emma Allen, who's from Tulsa, who went to Union, Reagan McQuaid, who went to Jinx, and Lauren Matrone, who's a freshman from Frisco, Texas. So
I was telling the listeners earlier in the show that you made a decision a couple of years back, which I found both, intriguing, and I would greatly respect you for it. The kind of OCU had been a recognized national power in women's golf and won a lot of national championships, but you decided to try to do it recruiting Oklahoma players first if possible. What kind of led to that decision, and how gratifying was it to you last year to do that with a roster almost exclusively Oklahoma girls?
What led to the decision was, I'm from Oklahoma. I'm from Cushing. I'm a small-town kid, and have a great respect for, I guess it'd go all the way back to my days of playing South Central Section Junior Golf with Walter Hopper. And he did a great job running that tour. That tour's still up and running and does very well. And Maury Rose has done an awesome job with the OJGT. And all the different pros that have junior golf programs. It's just, I think there's enough talent in the state. And certainly build a team of really good players from Oklahoma. Now, you run into certain years where maybe there's not as much depth or as many young ladies that even have the desire to play college golf. So you might have to deviate a little bit, but I feel strongly that there really are enough players from inside Oklahoma that you can have a good college team. And last year, I think it was very gratifying. It was cool to see a group of kids that played junior golf against each other and were rivals and played individually in the summer come together for one common purpose and win that national championship.
You had some really strong players too. Has any of your players from that team or any recent teams tried professional golf? Or?
What we have, Anna Mickish, she came back last fall to finish up her student teaching for her education degree. So she graduated, finished up, and she's going to play some amateur events this summer and then work returning pro this fall. And then from our 2013 and 14 national championship teams, Elia Folk, who was from Barcelona, Spain, she's currently playing on the women's LET tour.
Marty, you've got just tell our listeners how many you keep on a roster, and then what is the secret to kind of keep the girls competitive throughout the year in order to be able to handle the pressures of the big events towards the tail end of the year? Okay, so this year's roster I have 8 currently. Next I'll have 10. I'm bringing in I lose 2 seniors. I'm bringing in 4 new girls. So our roster always kind of fluctuates. The one thing that I try to make sure I never do is not take a chance on a good person. If I can find a young lady who really wants to come in and work hard and be part of our program, I'm never going to limit our roster size. That might be a dangerous thing to say, but I just feel that if you have somebody that really wants to be part of it and they're a great kid from a great family, then we want them. Now, the competitive part, that's a tricky question, and it changes every single year. Mm-hmm. Last year's team I didn't have to do a whole lot. They had played well all year. I don't think that we had a finish outside the top 5 or 6 playing a really strong, mostly Division I schedule all year. So
they kind of were in competitive mode automatically, so to speak. This year's team, we've had some ups and downs and been a little more inconsistent. So we're very fortunate. We had all of last week and all of next week. We have 2 full weeks to really bear down and grind through the postseason with no school, no finals. We're done with all that. So I'm looking forward to getting to work next week and seeing how much we can improve in a short amount of time.
We're visiting with Marty McCauley, the women's coach at OCU, heading down to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, PGA National Championship, NAIA, 22nd through the 25th. I saw, Marty, in the latest poll, I think you moved up to 10th. So it seems like maybe the team is coming together at the right time.
Yes, certainly. We played our best golf of the entire season in March and April, which is what you want to see, especially with a younger team. We have 4 freshmen, a sophomore, junior, and 2 seniors. So getting a group to gel, sometimes it happens automatically. Sometimes it takes a little while, and it took us through the fall and into the spring to really get some of the things figured out, some of the team chemistry, some of those things that are important, that are behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know goes on. But we certainly, I feel, are improving, and that's what you want to do because, to be competitive in national championship, you really just need to catch fire for 1 week.
Talk a little bit about Emma. You mentioned that she's from Union here in Oklahoma, or here in Tulsa, and she's been kind of a rock for the program, hasn't she, for 4 years? Yes,
Emma's absolutely amazing. She's done everything we've asked her to. She was a first-team All-American as a freshman, did a great job, came in, played wonderful, and then unfortunately she had a car accident the summer after her freshman year, hurt her back pretty bad. Was in a back brace, wasn't really for sure she'd even be able to ever play golf again. So very fortunate that she's even able to play golf, and had to fight through some swing adjustments with the back injury. But she shows up every day with a smile on her face, just the most gregarious kid you could ever imagine, just a great team leader and everything that, in my opinion, a student athlete should be.
And you've got some better players from our neck of the woods. Mackenzie McCoy from Beggs, and then Reagan McQuaid from here in Tulsa. She's progressed over the year, hasn't she? She probably wasn't even seeing much playing time until just recently, and now she seems to be coming along.
Correct. Reagan, was an interesting recruit, and in recruiting, I like to get out and spend as much time with the recruits and their parents as possible, so I could get to know them. And Reagan was a very rare example of the non-traditional way to find your way onto a college golf program. She chose not to come here originally out of high school, to just go to Oklahoma State and be a student and do that. And all of a sudden, the spring of her freshman year at Oklahoma State, she picked up the phone and called and kind of said she was missing golf. And next thing you know, she's here the next fall. So last fall, she got to play as an individual in a few tournaments, didn't really crack the top 5, and then this year she's been a solid top 5 player for us.
We're visiting with Marty McCauley, head coach at OCU, and Marty mentioned he's from Oklahoma. He's from Cushing, and he was a 2-time high school state champion, played at Wichita. Marty, long-term for you, do you want to stay working with the women golf team, or have you thought about, I know you coached at Texas Tech as an assistant with the men's team. Have you thought, kind of projected where you want to be maybe down the road with your coaching career?
Yes, at this point, I couldn't be more happy where I am. I love Oklahoma City University, the people here, the kids in my program, and it's somewhere that I see myself being in the future. Guys golf and girls golf are certainly very different, and there's days I miss being on the guys' side, but I'm really blessed and fortunate to be where I am right now.
All right. Listen, thank you so much, Marty, for joining us, and good luck down in Florida and defending that national title.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you,
Marty.
Take care.
Marty McCauley, OCU women's coach.